Hi, I am Dr. Lucy Meier from Third Coast Foot and Ankle, and today we are going to talk about age and why age makes everything more difficult. Now, we oftentimes tell people, well, you're not young, it's because of your age, you're getting older, and we love to blame our age, but we don't necessarily always explain why age is a factor with what you're dealing with. And so I'm specifically going to talk about injuries, specifically in our foot and ankle, and why age can be a factor in our healing. And the concept is quite simple, is that when we're older, or as we get older and age, and this happens throughout life, it's not just old people, it's all of us as we're aging, our cells begin to work a little bit differently. And the best way to describe it is when we compare, adults to kids, our activity level is very different. Our energy level is very different. For a 5-year-old to get from point A to point B is almost immediate. For an adult at varying ages to get from point A to B takes longer and longer and longer, and it's sometimes more of a struggle and more difficult. And sometimes we need assistance, whether it is a wheelchair or a walker or a cane, to get us from point A to point B. And so when we have an injury in our body, the same thing is happening. It's just on a very micro scale, where our cells are trying to travel from A to B and then trying to repair something on top of it. And so I'm going to back up maybe a little bit more to make myself more clear. When we have an injury, there's something called an inflammatory response, where your body sends cells to the injury that will then assist the body in healing. So as you can imagine, if our cells don't move with the same vigor as they did when we were 5 years old, when we have that inflammatory response, sometimes that response is lower than what we would experience when we're 5, and then it moves even slower, which means the healing process is going to move even slower and maybe not work as well. And that also means that sometimes we need a little bit more assistance, just like some of us needs a cane or a walker to get from point A to point B. Depending on how our cells are functioning in our body, we may need to add some additional assistance or structure to the healing process to make sure that it appropriately heals. Now, there's all sorts of different things that we can do to assist an injury, and obviously depending on the injury, those types of things will change. But something as simple as putting you in a walking boot can help your body heal a little bit faster, because we're providing it a little bit more stability, so we're not fighting our body's activity in the healing process. But we always can't do that, because sometimes wearing a boot with a foot injury, if you're already using a walker or a cane, it can put us at a higher risk of falling. And so we have to turn to different types of modalities to assist that healing process. Now, one of my favorite things to help, especially the aging population with healing, is the laser therapy. And when I say the aging population, I really mean everybody, because we're all getting older and our bodies are all acting a little bit more sluggish and taking longer to heal and recover after every injury. And so MLS laser, or level 4 cold laser, its function and its true purpose in life is to increase the metabolism of our cells. And so it is causing an increase in something called ADP, which is really the metabolism of our body. And so we use these lasers to tell our body to work harder, work faster, do the best you can. And it's kind of an external cheerleader or pouring coffee on the situation to make sure that the job is done as fast as your body possibly can. Now, this is still very slow process for some of us, but the thing that we can do to help it out the most is also focusing on our nutrition, which I know nobody loves to hear, that you have to eat better and cut out the junk food, but in reality it makes a lot of sense, right? What we put in our body is our energy, it is our source of fuel, and just like fuel that we use in our cars, there's different byproducts to that fuel that can build up or slow down or make us more sluggish over time. So just like our car needs some repairs and tune-ups and the oil changed, our body also needs to have those repairs and tune-ups, and we always have to make sure that we're putting the best gasoline or the best fuel inside of our body in order for it to function the best and the longest. So Aging is a very complicated situation, and it's not fun to talk about, and we love to just blame it for all of our problems. But there are things that we can do to assist our aging bodies into doing the best thing it possibly can and keeping us active as long as we can. Now, if you are struggling with an injury and you feel like your age is holding you back, we are happy to help you through that process. We cannot eliminate the barriers, but we can work against them in a way that is effective at getting you to heal your fastest way possible. So if you found this video helpful, please like the like button. That helps us out a lot. And once again, I am Dr. Lucy Meier from Third Coast Foot and Ankle, and very happy to help you.